Thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Jones, the Chief Operations Officer and Executive Vice President for the National Association of Certified Valuators and Analysts, the Global Association of Certified Valuation and Analysts, which is why we're here to introduce a chapter we have launched in India, the Association of Certified Valuators and Analysts, ACVA. And we're joined by Jim, Pratik, and Upshaw, who will be running that chapter in India. And we're so thrilled and excited to be able to finally do this. It's been a lot of months and work leading up to launching and establishing that chapter. And so let's start there. And as far as how and why you all wanted to launch this chapter and some of the activities that you had to go through within the Indian government and organizing within yourselves even this vision for the chapter.
Thank you for having us, Brian.
Sure,
yeah, this process, actually, if you go all the way back, probably started over a decade ago with Upasik, Pratik, and I working together, really sort of pioneering valuation outsourcing. So using India teams to help out with US valuation projects. We've been interacting over that entire time, and as we saw the industry start to evolve, and more and more companies were developing either captives or more business, we were talking about, okay, what can we do? How can we help this industry grow? And sort of came together, as you mentioned, over probably a 18 to 24 month period. We were talking to people, talking to you guys, also seeing what was going on from a regulatory standpoint within India in terms of changes in what they were requiring and some regulation that was coming in. And ultimately, it was just the right time to go in and do that. And so as a group, we decided, let's do this.
So what were some of the steps that you had to go through, and talk a bit about your team and how it ultimately resulted in that success?
So to basically become a registered valuer organization in India, there was a separate non-profit entity which we had to form, approved by the Indian government.
Okay.
So unlike a straightforward non-profit entity, it had to be, we had to apply for a different valuation license with the government, which required all the parameters to be completed as per the rules and the guidelines published in the company's regulation of Valuers Act 2017,
okay,
which was pretty new regulation when we started it. And so it took us almost a year to get approved with so many changing dynamics in the industry and no clarity from the government. So finally, in December of 2018, after spending 9 months with the government, we got the approval to become our RVO under IBBI, which is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India.
An RVO is a Registered Valuation Organization?
Yes.
And was this a first for India to have this specialized valuation profession or industry defined?
Yes, so this regulation came in effect in October of 2017, which got pushed back to March 2018, and we were the 10th association which was approved by the government.
Okay.
But we are the only one in India which has a global affiliation with a US-based or a global valuation body.
Congratulations.
One of the things that's different about the US versus India is that valuation is actually an element of the accounting training in India.
Okay.
So what the chartered accountants there already have some valuation training and knowledge. So, and there were 2 or 3 other bodies that sort of had an immediate link in. So they were the first RVOs.
Okay.
But as Upasik mentioned, we're the first one that really is linked up to a global organization that can actually grant a designation. None of those other organizations can actually grant any type of valuation designation. We think that's an important point for us from a business strategy.
Absolutely. The Global Association of Certified Valuators and Analysts, GACVA, has a number of chapters throughout the globe that are offering and credentialing CPAs and financial analysts to earn the CVA credential in compliance with the same policies in North America. And so our chapters are in Africa, Europe, Southeast Asia, Taiwan, Canada, now India. And to your point, one of the one of the landmark things that helped you all achieve that was being a globally recognized organization with networks not only in North America but throughout, the world.
That's right.
So, what are some of the key drivers of business valuation in India?
So, unlike US, the valuation industry in India is quite regulated by the government. So, any valuation opinion has to be signed by a registered valuer for the purpose of financial reporting or even for tax valuation purposes. So, the valuation is basically required when there's insolvency proceedings going on, or there's an issuance of shares in a company, or valuing a stock option. So there are many facets of different business requirements for which a valuation is required. And until now, it was only the chartered accountants, as Jim mentioned, were responsible to do the valuation, and only they could sign an opinion. With these new rules and act, the industry has opened up for non-chartered accountants to pursue a certification in the valuation and become a registered valuer with one of the RVOs. And with ACVA, they would become a registered valuer and a CVA if they pass the examination. So that basically separates them out from the rest of the crowd when they could sign a report as a registered valuer and use the credential of a CVA.
So it's pretty prevalent through, I guess, all industries as part of requirements for accounting practices. So who are some of the potential members who you're looking to get affiliated with your chapter?
So in terms of potential members, we are trying to tie up with a lot of firms who are into valuations. That is our number one target. Number two, we are also trying to tie up with some local chartered accountants and guys who are pursuing their accounting careers and everything. Third, we are also trying to tie up with universities, local universities, where we feel that including CVA specific curriculum in there, somewhere we can integrate that into their education background. That will probably help us scale up the number of registrants that comes through CVA. So those are the three potential stuff that I'm looking towards it. I think Upasa can add few more if he has thought about it.
Yeah, so basically any finance graduate who wants to basically pursue a career in valuations or wants to become a registered valuer are the potential members. Or there is also one different side of industry which we are going to target is individuals who are working with US-based valuation firms. Like the Big Four has a captive units in India who manage all the valuation work from India. Those individuals may not require to become a registered valuer, but CVA would be an added benefit for them to get recruited in such organizations or to basically add credentials to their skills and basically climb up the ladder for their professional success.
Absolutely. One of the main visions also of NACVA headquartered here in US and the new chapters that we've onboarded recently is our commitment to younger professionals who are studying economics, finance, or accounting at the graduate or MBA level who can achieve the candidate status for the CVA so they can get into the profession at a much earlier age, but also have a much more competitive advantage in being hired by having a certification and training already in valuation.
Yeah, there's an interesting dynamic that's going on that's different between the U.S. and India.
Okay.
In the U.S., and you pointed about the younger professionals, a lot of the valuation profession is older. They are approaching retirement age, and we need to fill in with what's there. In India, on the other hand, the valuation industry is exploding, and so there's a huge gap of just available candidates to come and do this work. And it's led to some very difficult dynamics in terms of hiring and keeping talent with what's going on there. So our hope is that with the training and the capabilities that we're bringing, those young professionals will feed that loop and be able to take some of the pressure off the people that are already there and the hiring pressure that's there that's led to some less than positive behavior between the firms.
Well, you were very, very ambitious right after establishing your chapter in successfully executing a conference, like right away. And congratulations on doing that, by the way. Talk to us about that conference and when you just a few weeks ago held that and some of your strategies and goals for certification, training, but also other continuing education events.
So yeah, in terms of conference, as soon as we got the approval from IBBI, we just thought that let's just go ahead and create kind of environment that yes, there is ACVA now in the league as well.
And I have a quick question. IBBI.
Yes, it's Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India.
Okay, great.
So it's a government body, so they approve the RVOs. So ACVA is now an RVO. So as soon as we got the approval, we put our hats together and decided that let's go ahead and do a conference and let's see what's the what's the participation of individuals who would like to be part of this. So I think we don't have Dhara Shah, who is again a part of ACVA team. So she, Upasak and all of us sat together and started planning around the conference. When we initially started planning, we were very aggressive in our thoughts, but then we realized that it's still a startup, right? So then we, with help of Jim, helping us to navigate through Big Four and a lot of other channels, we started reaching out to practice leaders and a lot of, valuation professionals, chartered accountant firms, even the, I would say investment banks, merchant bankers, everyone, The idea that we created was to to showcase an ecosystem over there, right? Right from college till the Big Four leaders, everyone was present in that conference. The challenge that we started facing was initially we saw some less registrations, but over a period of next 15-20 days when the conference was approaching, I think we targeted around 150 to 200 and we reached around 180 members in that conference, which was huge.
Yes.
And it was probably one of the largest conference that anyone would have seen. We had prominent leaders from Big Four. We had Mr. Hari Bhakti as well, who is considered as one of the big names in the industry. Then, with help of a lot of our board members and everything, so we were able to launch it successfully. And now, with the successful launch, the expectations are way high. And so now our next target is to fulfill that. And we are coming up with the trainings pretty soon now.
Great. Congratulations on your conference. It's no easy task to not only organize a conference, but in such short time attract almost 200 individuals. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. It was I was over for it as well, and we brought over a couple of other individuals from the U.S. to speak on technical topics. And one of the things that we tried to do was to get some interesting technical topics that would draw an audience of people as well. But I got to say, congratulations to the guys. They did a great job putting it all together, getting it there, getting the people there. There were a few panicked calls 2 to 3 weeks before, and no one's coming, what do we do?
Right. All that never happens when you plan a big conference.
But I think we learned a valuable lesson, and that's that on a one-day conference, you're going to get a lot of your registrations in the last 2 weeks as people's schedules firm up.
Right.
We should have anticipated that, but you live and learn.
Well, it's great. I mean, and I'm sure that very big and successful start, and that's a big PR statement for the organization too, is that you're ready to go, you're enthusiastic, you've got great content and networking, and you just touched on some of your plans and strategies for credentialing. So how can people get involved in your organization, whether they want to earn a credential or get involved in some way to support your growth? Talk a bit about how the audience watching this hopefully can contact you all and get involved so you can just grow and become successful.
And so there are multiple ways we are going to engage the valuation professionals with ACVA. One of the first is basically inviting experienced professionals to become a trainer with ACVA and with NACVA's CVA curricula. So as of now, we have basically seen interest from professionals working in large and mid-sized valuation firms, partner level individuals who are signing up to become a trainer with us.
Great.
So that's the first step to get associated with ACVA after becoming a member with ACVA. Thereafter, basically, we would create our own governing body, which will have participation from different parts of the industry, wherein they can basically, we'll create task force teams for each different topics, for continuing education, representing ACVA in front of the government, and sharing the thoughts and views from the industry leaders. So there are multiple ways, and we are taking a cue from NACVA's different bodies and how NACVA is basically involving individuals. Hopefully, we'll do the similar thing in India over the next 6 to 12 months.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the opportunity to pursue what you're doing here in the U.S., and that's getting into the universities.
Sure.
You know, valuation has historically, at least in the U.S., been a business that you didn't study to go into.
Right.
You came into it from something else.
Right.
And then, but now that's changing. You know, there's starting to be curriculum. Two former partners from big four firms are now down at, for instance, USC. They're developing a valuation curriculum within their accounting school. So it's becoming a part of that, and you know, the efforts you guys have been making with some of the other universities,
Right.
building that in. That opportunity in India is particularly important because there's such a large volume of students there looking for ways to differentiate themselves. Well, the CVA is one of the ways to do it.
And that's great that a similar model to NACVA's success in North America has been member engagement. The Parnell Black, who founded NACVA, and Bob Green at the time realized that running an association is really bigger than ourselves, and that we really care for our members' success in everything that we do, obviously, from resources and training and credentialing and networking, is to ensure that our members, succeed, and part of that is getting involved and contributing to what is necessary for them to do that. And so, any other thoughts you guys would like to share about this great endeavor that you're just getting started on?
No, I think it's exciting, especially associated with NACVA is kind of the most important parameter that we had. Taking ACVA to India, along with Jim's guidance and his continuous mentoring. It's going to be exciting. But it's going to be a tough road because in India it's different versus in the United States. So, but we are excited, and I'm sure that next 12 months will decide, how we are going to proceed, for next 5 years.
All the indications are positive, though. So.
Well, I will say this to both of you as well. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On also being included in our 40 under 40.
Oh, thank
you.
you.
That's really pioneering as well. Similar to the vision of always looking back and appreciating the history of where the organization came from and those pioneers and experts that helped blaze this profession. Always will give them credit and appreciate them. But looking forward to the future of this profession, the two of you are doing great things in your country with us as an organization, and we're glad to also honor you as part of our 40 under 40 class for 2019. So congratulations on that.
Thank you
also.
very much. Very much appreciated.
Yes. And thank you for joining us. If you would like to get involved within the Global Association of Certified Valuators and Analysts, the website globalcva.com. You can access information on how to reach this chapter in India, but also our others. And if you also just wanted to get involved here in North America, just contact us. There's lots of fun things to do. Thanks for joining us. And again, congratulations, guys.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much.